All right, good afternoon. I'd like to call our special meeting for the Redevelopment Commission to order. Today's Tuesday, July 29th. First order, before we start, I'd like to mention that we accept comments in person or via WebEx. So first item up for bid is Garrison Fraser Development Agreement.
Good afternoon. Thank you again for your time and your commitment in coming to our special meeting this afternoon. This project has been in negotiations for a while, and given as we approach some deadlines coming up, we felt it was important to try to get this development agreement signed and executed ahead of the next regular meeting. Felt timely in order to do that. I believe you all received a copy. I'll hit a couple of the highlights or the high notes in here. Effectively, the developer is agreeing to purchase the land from the city for an amount of $675,000. That's inclusive of both sites, the Freight Street and the South Main Street sites. The developer is committed to building 210 units, investing over $50 million. I think the project is up to about $51 million now. Originally, it was a little bit lower. We've been at this for some time. That was part of the delay in getting to the stage today. As you know, economic uncertainty with interest rates and steel costs and tariffs and some of those kinds of things have reflected some increases in some of the costs associated with the project, and that'll be reflected a little bit in some of the language for the commitments the city's making to the project. But it basically follows the same structure of what we had negotiated previously, and it very much follows the same structure of the previous development agreements we've entered into with other developers in the River District or other parts of the city. So effectively with this development, in return for their pledge and their commitment to constructing and building the project, the city is providing incentives in two separate forms. First is we carved this out, and we will pledge the future TIF revenues associated with this project to be capitalized in an economic development bond purchased by the developer, which allows them to capture the future TIF, very similar to some of our other deals. On this project, additionally, we are anticipating an award from the Lilly investment project through the state IEDC, and the city is pledging some existing cash TIF combined in an amount of $11.8 million to help fund the project in the form of a forgivable loan. Many of our typical protections in our development agreements are warranted and outlined in here, including schedules of when they'll have the property closed and deliverables of proof of financing, when they'll start construction, when they'll have their construction drawings to us and approved, and all of those elements. They have proposed a construction schedule that would start in May of 2026 and be completed by April of 2028, starting leasing in November of 2027 and being stabilized by end of May 2029. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Sure.
So have you been notified by Lilly that you've...
So we are still working under the understanding of the original letter they sent us, willing to commit funds to this project, stands as that kind of commitment. We just don't know yet for sure when or how much we'll be receiving.
Only other thing you might add to that is there's a $2.5 million commitment for Love Plaza as well from the city.
Thanks for that, Gary. So if you'll remember, one of the signature pieces of the development project was the development of the Love Plaza space, and the city is undertaking and making a commitment as part of our infrastructure pledge to the project to fund those improvements as well.
Addition to the 11.8 or inclusive?
Correct. So the 11.8 supports the project itself. We're going to build the public space, but they're going to design it and can actually do the construction for us.
The city's going to end up owning the Love Plaza.
That's correct. We will own the Love Plaza
as well.
Because it's designed and meant to be a public space that serves the broader neighborhood, as identified in the Benham neighborhood plan.
So we'd need a motion to approve the sale substantially on the terms set forth in the agreement at a not to exceed price of $675, approving the terms and conditions of the agreement as submitted today authorizing officers to approve any revisions appropriate and consistent with the intent of the parties, subject to prior review and approval of legal counsel.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion from the commissioners? There is comment online.
You're muted, Louis.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. It's not really a comment. I'm just trying to clarify, just so I know how much. I know that they're buying the two parcels for $675,000, correct?
That's correct.
Which so I think that the city originally had invested upward between 700 to 750,000 for those two parcels. So we're giving them sort of a reduction there. Is that correct?
I would have to verify that. I'm not sure the exact transaction amount we had with the church in the 1,000 block of South Main. I will say that the transaction on Freight Street was a $300,000 acquisition.
Right. Okay. And I thought I remembered that the South Main Street was like around 400,000. I did see there, and just correct me, and I saw that if they agreed to purchase two properties on South Second Street, then it would just be, we would just charge them $375,000.
No, so what the language is included in there is the developer has agreed has committed outside of this development agreement, which is specific to the project. The developer has committed to funding and creating and constructing some market rate townhomes, both at the south end of this on the property on Prairie, but also behind the project on Second Street. Part of that would require them to acquire some land on their own. Without the city's involvement. We did make an agreement that if they were able to secure some of those properties, we would reduce the acquisition cost of this project by the amount they spend on those lots, up to a maximum of $300,000.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for that clarification. So they would be getting a further reduction in these parcels, which, I understand that you need some public support. And then I just wanted to clarify, and I know you guys have meetings, and that it's $11.8 million. And then it would be, it looks like you're thinking the TIF would generate $7.8 million.
Yeah, I think that was the preliminary estimations from Baker Tilly for the project, correct?
And so they would get those TIF revenues. And then we have another 2.5 million that we're giving for the love. Is that correct?
We would be investing a maximum of 2.5 in constructing Love Plaza,
Okay.
the public
So
open
not,
space.
okay. So so that would be about, if it's a $51 million project, which would definitely be transformative to that area. That's wonderful. That would really be, so the taxpayers would be supporting about 40% then of the project.
Yeah, I wouldn't classify the investment in Love Plaza as a subsidy to this project in any way. That's a commitment that the city needs to make in order to make that space happen and invest in a public space that serves the
Right.
broader neighborhood and supports the project. So I would say that the city's commitment is the future TIF of the 7.5, and the city's commitment is up to a max of 6.8 if we get 5 million from the state and the 11.8 forgivable loan. So that's 13 out of 51 million. So.
But we're also doing the 2.5 million. Is that correct?
Yeah, but again, that's to
Okay.
support the creation and
Okay.
construction of a new public space in the neighborhood. A
Sure.
park.
So we have
It's to build a park
11.8.
in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I understand. I'm
Okay.
just trying to make sure I understand all that. So it's really the 11.8 is coming from your Ready grant and a direct loan that the city's giving. Then you have the 7.8 of TIF dollars and the 2.5 for the construction of the park, correct?
Those are the commitments outlined in the agreement, correct?
Right. Okay. So it would be, now the only other, and you guys have that in front of you. I'm just pulling off of what was online. I see that it doesn't necessarily have, and this would probably be more of a question for the council, but they don't have dollar amounts in what they had online as far as what was coming from the Ready grant and what was going to be the direct loan. So my question would be based on what was online. So maybe you guys have that there. Can you even pass this today if you don't really know the breakdown of where that 11.8 million is coming from?
The response to that is that we indicate in the development agreement that we will do our best to secure these funds, knowing that we don't have control over the ready portion from the IEDC. If for some reason we're unable to secure all of our commitments, then obviously we would not be allowed to go forward. We would not go forward with the agreement, and the project would not
Okay.
happen.
Okay, so then it's not like the city would, or the taxpayers would not be picking up the total 11.8.
That's correct.
Okay, and then, okay, thank you. I just wanted some clarification on numbers. And then the only suggestion, I was actually driving back from Hobby Lobby today. I think well, the redevelopment commission, I believe the old car wash is a part of this project. Is that correct, on South Main
Yeah,
Street?
that's correct.
And I think, is that owned by the redevelopment commission currently?
It is currently, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So just that's becoming, I saw a whole bunch of trash bags and stuff there. That it was sort of becoming blighted. I would just suggest they make sure they're cleaning that up. Just so it doesn't
Yep, thank you.
become more blighted. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Are there any other further questions? Seeing none and hearing none here in person, I think we're ready for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, we've got the Woodland Crossing.
Hello, good afternoon. Mary Casca, Assistant Director, Community Development, City of Elkhart. We have two quotes to white box a vacant space we have, a vacancy we have at Woodland Crossing. It's 140 Suite 4 and 5. They had been combined and used by a tenant who's vacated. So we'd like to, what we call white box it, sort of clean it up, remove some things in preparation for a new tenant. We do not have a new tenant for that space yet, but we're trying to be prepared for a new tenant. So we received two quotes, one from HDR Group for $38,692 and another from Cressy Commercial Real Estate for $15,309.40. So I'm recommending or asking for your approval to approve the quote from Cressy of $15,309.40.
So you need a motion to award the contract to Cressy in the amount of $15,309.40 and appropriate that sum from the Woodland Crossing Operations account.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion from the commissioners? Any discussion in whether in person or online? Seeing none, we're ready for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. That should round out our activities today. Is there any other business that you need to cover at this time? All right. Seeing none, would love to take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Ta-da.